Madi, the rest went. So this Ojitete, they went round. Jakedakon, Dallas, Kevo, Edward Bauer, they went round the country to train 276. What that meant was that by the time the national trainers completed the first phase of the training, we had trainers also embedded with the people. So if they had any further questions to ask, they could teach them. And it was not just training. For the first time, I said, you write exams.
To be an agent.
Yes, to be a polling agent.
I love it.
So they wrote exams. They wrote exams.
Did some of them fail?
Yes.
And what happened to those who failed?
They were taken out.
Opposition for there's no position for reset.
I didn't allow for reset for a particular mark.
Okay.
But for those who made above 40, I allowed for reset.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
But below 40, no chance to reset. So some failed. It was difficult because, this is new, and you know very well, perhaps more than I do. Managing change is a very difficult one. People had campaigned for executives on the ground, and they had promised them to be polling agents and all that, because it's privilege to be a polling agent. And then a madman comes and says, it's not just about training, you have to write exams, and there's a pass mark that has been communicated. And the kind of questions that you were setting included some kind of analysis, algebra, because you say that the BVD has this figure, and the manual, this number of manual forms were filled, and this number of ballot papers came in, calculate the unused ballots, calculate so that is what it was.
Wow.
So after the 153,000, we sieved it and came to 87,000. But the 87,000 meant that we had some polling stations that had 4, but some polling stations did not have at all. So that meant that even though 87,000 could take care of the total on the average, in terms of distribution, we had shortfall. The next layer, teamwork. Professor Alabi, the campaign manager, also set up a center. And theirs was basically pretending to be doing research. So they call people who have been nominated as polling agents or ward coalition officers, and they are researching about blah, blah, your preference, who are you going to vote for? And we have some of the recordings. And somebody who has been trained, passed, and going to be a polling agent says, I'll vote for number 1. blah, 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 blah. That kind of, we have some of the recordings. So because of that quality assurance, we were able to weed out a lot of infiltrators.
Right.
Yeah. We were able to weed out a lot of infiltrators who had also come in. And I think that is very bad, because it is our own people who nominated them to come and serve.
Okay.
And these are things that we will do contact tracing subsequently to identify the people who nominated them.
That is a very novel approach, right? And I see that you identify the problem and engineer the solution, which is, something really worth commending. And we need to learn a bit more about some of the other things that Dr. Omane Boamah and his team did to ensure that the NDC were certainly